Do you want to talk about China a little bit? Because we've seen LPL start, yes. And BLG looks really good.
You know what, Monty? This is actually where I feel like people got too caught up in the fact that the initial story wasn't like BLG, but the initial story was they're not going to keep the JDG lineup. And it was such a bummer. I feel like it dominated the people's conception of the offseason. Because look, I agree. I wish I would give so much to see one more year of that team. It was so fucking fun to watch. But I'll tell you what, Monty, if I can't have it, this BLG lineup's about the next best thing, mate. I mean, Knight looks absolutely fucking bonkers in some of these games, mate. And then you just look at the team. Guys, the power level of these players is fucking insane. It's another team that could, like, play through all three lanes. It's just the strength is so... The junglers are stud again. Like, I think people low-key are... This is how you know people don't watch the LPL, Monty. I'm hyped about this team already. Like, this one's more... I'm more hyped about this one than Gen G, mate. I'm really hyped that this can be like a world's winner, I think. It's really possible.
Oh, yeah. They're certainly, like... I would say they're a top 3 team at the moment, and we could have a debate about whether it's Gen G, T1, or BLG who's on top at the moment. BLG is undefeated. They did take out Top Esports, which is important because it was the first match of the LPL, and we were kind of complaining a little bit about that last week. But as we've kind of seen a couple more games from BLG right now, it really does feel like they have some extremely powerful, synergy with the Jun and their bot lane, which are the players that stayed. Yep. And they can push advantages through the bot lane, win lane, and then get Jun on invades on like Brand jungle and just completely dominate the game. Like, if you want a treat, guys, go watch BLG versus Top Game 1. Watch Jun play Brand and see how quickly and efficiently and cleanly BLG can snowball, right? In fact, I was reviewing some VODs today on my stream of the Absolute Legends games that they played last night, and game 2 was another one of like stomp bot into just crush game, 10K gold lead at 20 minutes, just completely ruin the chances of the other team for Absolute Legends. And yeah, AL is not going to be a great roster.
Obviously, sure.
In the LPL. Even though Krako and Kyle over there, so some like mid-tier, I would say, Korean imports are on that roster. But I mean, BLG has just been smacking people around, and they look really good. I assume we're going to see Top Esports kind of bounce back. They've only been able to play one more match versus EDG.
By the way, I'll give you the narrative as well. You know how I got way ahead of this last year, Monty, where I said, like, the cool thing about this lineup is obviously like the money it's cost, but if they win every series, they'll be the best ever. Here's the cool angle that this team also has, guys. If this team wins Worlds, it is 100% Chinese.
Yep.
100%. And by the way, that just shows you how far the LPL has come. Because, mate, look, obviously I would still take Ruler over fucking Elk, Monty. That one's not really a hard one. But aside from that, these players are all, and by the way, including it, they're all bangers. Like, maybe Elk was a little bit overhyped because of like the fucking, if you go back to like summer and spring last year, maybe it was a little bit overvalued, but he's still a very good player. And you just look, these are all LPL talents. So I actually think this team it's a really exciting prospect for me. I think it's going to be really cool. And obviously then there's no fucking there's no Korean player to go, yes, Mr. President Faker. I will follow my swords. You're on the other team, you twat. What are you doing? They're all Chinese now, so good. Let's bring the nationalism back. Let's start this Cold War. Let's do it.
No Tarzan and Kanavi to be double agents this year at Worlds.
What's weird is, though, I actually tried telling the guy from Gen G that this was an all Chinese team, and he just said no comment. A little joke for you all there, the industry. If people don't know, by the way, look, we won't make this a big thing, but I will point out, because that's actually a story we didn't talk about, Monty, is it's bigger than people know, because you have to add all the details to make the true Clown Fiesta. So as far as I know, this is what happened. There was some sort of a thing where Gen G was talking about like a promotional event or whatever on Twitter.
Yes.
And in doing they were
doing like a fan meet in Taiwan.
Yes. In doing so, they accidentally implied Taiwan's a sovereign country, which is literally verboten. It's not allowed. Obviously, if you're going to be working with China, right? China tends to get upset about that. But it's even better because people don't know the follow-up part, which is even funnier, which is in attempting to scramble Lena style and quickly fix it. They then said, thinking this was, because obviously this is what the Chinese would want to hear. They then used like the framing of something like, we respect China's like territorial prowess or whatever. But in doing so, they forgot something I've referenced on past episodes, which is that famously Korea and Japan 24/7 put propaganda out about like all the other countries are trying to steal these little islands that are really ours and they're ours for these reasons. And, you know, and they all do these things where they all claim these things. But in doing so, they didn't think about this Gen G by saying like, we respect China's like territorial claims or whatever. You're actually inadvertently now saying to Korean fans that maybe China does own those. So even though, guys, they thought, well, this will put it to bed. That'll put the fire out.
Taiwanese fans, but yes.
No, sorry, yes. But in doing so, you actually then made, but it was everyone was mad about this. You then made like the other side even madder. So you actually just managed to simultaneously get spit roasted from both sides and just lose in all regards. And then lastly, obviously this has a knock-on effect that now like LCK isn't shown in China. Like what an upset. That's one of the craziest. Even Targ Armisen watched that and go, that's a fucking int right there. That's so unnecessary. Like, yeah, even he knows and he doesn't talk.
Yeah, that was quite the fiesta. Quite the fiesta that occurred. And making both the Taiwanese and Chinese people hate you at the same time was just masterful. Was just masterful.
Yeah.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.